Treasurer, did the government consult with the gambling and hospitality industry before announcing or introducing the new gambling tax?
No, and I've been asked this a number of times by the industry. We didn't go out and consult with the industry prior to implementing these changes, and there were specific reasons for this. If we were going to go out and speak to that industry about changing their taxation regimes, we knew the answer that we're already going to get. That there would have been opposition, and they would not have agreed with the changes. So the decision was made not to consult with industry. We advised industry just prior to the bill being introduced, and we've since engaged with industry post that announcement. But yeah, the decision was made not to engage with industry prior to.
Treasurer, did your government receive any advice or warnings from the affected companies about this new tax regime, which may impact the future investment or employment in the territory of those companies who are based here?
Yeah, just nothing specific to the legislation, Leader of the Opposition. There are always people coming in from the gambling industry advocating for lower taxation regimes for their industry so that they can, of course, maximise and maintain or increase their profits. So, yes, there's been much discussion from numerous organisations leading into, but they're all about lowering their taxation regimes to make it more beneficial for their organisations.
Treasurer, how does the government expect to do business here in the Territory and plan for investment with companies in the Territory when tax settings can be changed without warning or consultation?
Well, you're only talking about one specific business and industry here in the Territory, but there are many other things we're doing to work with business and industry across the Territory to improve our taxation regimes and improve our regulatory regimes to attract business here. And I suppose the first one would be the changes to the payroll tax regime, increasing that from 1.5 to 2.5 million, which benefits many small to medium businesses across the Territory and saves some of those businesses up to $68,000 per annum, which they can then reinvest into their business. I could talk at length of the work that's taking place with the Fast Track Approvals Task Force. And again, that's about looking at what government does and how it does it and improving our timeframes about how we then work with business and changing and improving those regulatory frameworks to make the Territory an easier place to do business. We're hopefully seeing that report come out in another few days, and I believe the Chief Minister spoke at length about it yesterday. Territory Coordinator is another piece of work to deliver for the Territory.
Could we stick to gambling question?
I'll let the Treasurer go. I think I didn't see an issue with the answer he was giving, but yeah, Treasurer.
Well, we were talking about taxation regimes and regulatory reform for business. So, of course, gambling is one of a small part of a larger piece of what is Territory business and Territory industry. So if we're looking, again, I'll go back to the Territory Coordinator. The Territory Coordinator position has been implemented to drive investment, find investment and make sure that investment happens here in the Territory. And that's about regulatory reform and driving and changing how we do business. So yes, in this instance, yes, there's a change in the taxation regime for a business or a subset of businesses here in the Territory. But then, of course, you look at the rest of business in the Territory, there's a lot of regulatory reform and a lot of change going on to drive investment and to grow our economy through that regulatory reform. So, yes, there's been some changes to the racing and gaming and online betting area in relation to taxation. We certainly do not believe that they are outside the ballpark when you consider what we're doing with other jurisdictions. Funnily enough, I believe that we are not the lowest taxing environment in the country. I believe Tasmania is the lowest taxing environment, but we do have the best regulatory framework in the country in relation to online gambling and our racing and wagering, and that's something that we're quite proud of, and we've given the assurances to the industry that we're not going to change that. If anything, we're going to probably improve it and make it easier for them to do business. But there's a requirement for those doing business here in the Territory in this area, in racing and gaming and online betting, that they pay a reasonable amount of tax to the Territory for the business that they do here.
Through the Chair, Treasurer, can your government categorically rule that you will not be introducing any further taxes, levies or charges during this term?
No.
So is it your intention, Treasurer, that you will increase taxes, charges and levies and will not consult on it?
I didn't say that, Leader of the Opposition. I can certainly say in relation to the racing, gaming and wagering industry that I've given you assurance to that industry that there'll be no taxation changes in their area for the term of this government. So I don't know what's going to happen after 4 years. Well, will I be in government? Will I not be in government? Will somebody else be in government? I said I could not give them that assurance, but for the next 4 years, for the term of this government, there'll be no changes to the taxation regimes for online wagering and racing and gaming.
And lastly, Treasurer, just on this topic, is this a prime example of the CLP government saying one thing before the election and then doing the opposite after being elected?
Absolutely not, member, for the Leader of the Opposition.
So it's not an example of promising not to do something without consultation and then doing it without consultation after the fact.
This government never said leading into the election that we wouldn't be reviewing taxation regimes on racing, gaming, wagering and online betting.